So today's discussion topic is meditation. Right. All of us know that meditation is beneficial for us. So that is why we are here doing this program. So we know for certain that meditation is good. How does that impact us? How does our meditation and meditative practices impact us? So let's take our body itself. How does meditation impact our body? Or which part of the body does meditation impact most? Can you think about it? Which part of your body is impacted by meditation the most? Absolutely. The first thing which is impacted is the brain itself. Right? So, certain areas of the brain are impacted with meditation. Now, the best part is that the parts of the brain which is responsible for desirable behavior becomes enhanced with meditation. Right? Parts of the brain which are responsible for desirable behavior becomes enhanced with meditation. Now, there are other parts of the brain which are associated with undesirable behavior, which reduces in size. Right? So, let us look at the different parts of the brain and how it impacts our behavior. Right? So, you have got the hippocampus first. Right? Hippocampus controls the learning and your memory, ability to learn new things, and your memory. So hippocampus is something which controls your learning ability as well as your memory. So with meditation, the hippocampus becomes enhanced. There is more gray matter happening there. There is more activity happening there. That area becomes more enhanced, more pronounced. So that increases your memory as well as your learning capacity. Now, there is another part of the brain which is called the pons, P-O-N-S. Right? Pons is a part of the brain which is almost connecting your spine to the brain in that area. Okay. So pons is responsible for your response to sensory stimuli. Right? So any of your sense organs gives you sensory feedback. And that sensory feedback is enhanced by pons. With meditation, that sensory feeling is much more enhanced. Right? So what happens? So let's say Alison likes to eat something nice. Okay, let's say cake. Right? Or she's nodding big time. Okay, so she likes to eat cake. So when she eats cake, she gets some satisfaction. Right? So if she is meditating for a long time, what happens is that satisfaction increases multifold. Right? That satisfaction increases multifold. So then what happens is that she doesn't have to eat the whole cake. She can have just a bite of the cake and get the same satisfaction. Right? So that is about taste. Another very important sensory object is about sex. Right? When we are young, we know that all of us are so interested in that. But what happens is with meditation is that the amount of satisfaction you get from that action, okay, is enhanced multifold, right? So your desire to have too much of that reduces, right? But when you're having it, there is an amazing sensation which you never would have experienced otherwise. That sensory perception is much more enhanced. That means that you enjoy it much more, right? So the need to do it often slowly reduces. It is not necessary anymore, right? So that you don't have too much of a craving for it, right? But when you are doing it, it is enhanced satisfaction, right? So you don't expend your energy unnecessarily, right? So these are all benefits of meditation by enhancing the pons area of the brain. Okay. Then you have got something called the posterior cingulate. Posterior cingulate is something which watches your emotions. So there is, your emotions are like waves, right? You get angry at somebody, right? So when you're angry at somebody, you just lose control and you don't know what you're doing, right? Or when you're sad, you feel like crying and you're in a bad state of affairs, right? So your emotions are always like waves, ups and downs, huge ups and downs. So with meditation, what happens is that the posterior cingulate is enhanced so that you are able to detach yourself from your emotions and watch your emotions as if you are a secondary person, right? As Patanjali explains it, yogas chitta vritti nirodha, steadiness of your mind in any circumstance, so that you are able to disassociate yourself with your emotions and watch the emotions as if you are a secondary person, right? So you are able to view yourself, you are able to laugh at your emotions. So that ability comes with meditation. Okay, and then you have the temporoparietal junction. Temporoparietal junction. That is responsible for empathy and compassion. Right? Empathy and compassion. That is why when you meditate and you have been a continuous meditator for many years, you empathize with everybody. As Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, you become Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. Sarva Bhuta Hiterata means welfare of all living beings in your heart. Right? You might be making money, but you're not making money only for yourself and your family, but you have the welfare of the society also in mind. Right? So you are not selfish. It is not about me all the time. You become more compassionate. You become a more compassionate human being. Right? And then the last one which I wanted to discuss is the part of the brain which is called the amygdala. Now, what is amygdala responsible for? Amygdala is responsible for stress, fear, anxiety, social anxiety, right? And with meditation, this area starts shrinking, right? So you don't have that stress anymore. Come what may, you are calm. Doesn't matter what happens, right? You are calm. You're calm and steady, right? It can be an extremely stressful situation, but you are calm, right? You might have social anxieties, okay? After some time, after meditation, you will think that, okay, so what is the big deal? They might talk, they might say that I'm good for nothing. So what? Doesn't matter. Maybe I'm not good for anything. It's okay, no problem, right? That social anxiety starts disappearing, right? You are confident in yourself. You are not dependent on other people's feelings. Your happiness doesn't depend on what others think about you. In Krishna also explains this very well. Tulya ninda stutir mauni. Tulya ninda stutir mauni. So what does Krishna explain here? Tulya ninda. Tulya means equal. Ninda is someone is saying bad things about you. Saying he's that, he's this. When someone says saying like this, you are tulya. You are steady minded. Stutir means someone is saying, oh, Alison is doing extremely good yoga, right? Cheryl is amazing. Cheryl has got a nice figure and all that, right? She's doing yoga for so long and she's fit and all of that. So even when somebody is saying good things about you, you are okay, good, right? You are steady. You are not elated, right? Sometimes what happens is if somebody praises you, you become elated, right? But a yogi is a person who doesn't care whether it is praise or scolding. For him, it is all the same. Okay, so that is a function of amygdala. And fear is another thing, right? When you are about to do something, you're frightened, about what might happen, right? So that fear also starts reducing with meditation, right? So amazing benefits, right? So now it is also found out that people are in the US, especially I've seen a lot in the US, because they take antidepressants so much, right? Antidepressants, and then it becomes an addiction. So the research has proven today that the effect of antidepressant is almost the same as what meditation can give you, right? It's almost on par. Sometimes meditation is even better, right, than antidepressants. So the problem with antidepressants is that you become addicted to it. It becomes an addiction, right? And if you stop it, you go, all over the place, right? You have suicidal tendencies and all of that. So it is very important that we are not saying that to stop antidepressant tablets which you are having, medications which you are having. We are not encouraging that. What we are doing is that we do it parallelly, and slowly you wean off the antidepressants with meditation. It takes time. So it's a process of weaning off, not cutting immediately. There's no way you should cut it immediately, right? So slowly wean it off with years of meditative practices, replacing the antidepressants. Okay. The other thing is about pain treatment. How many people in the US are taking painkillers? Right? I've seen so many of these veterans. They come, they have injuries and they are prescribed painkillers, and then it becomes a, addiction, total addiction. Right? They start taking painkillers, and then they slowly graduate into more and more addictive drugs, right? So this is a vicious cycle, and meditation can kill pain, right? You're able to control your pain much better with meditation. So that is another benefit. You don't have to have painkillers, right? If there is acute pain, of course you can take painkillers, but if it is chronic pain, that chronic pain, the feeling or sensation of pain can be reduced with meditation. Okay. And the other thing is about, you have something called the monkey brain. You know what a monkey brain is? Right? When you're thinking, okay, you're just sitting in a class, suddenly, Cheryl might be thinking about, okay, what is for breakfast? I need to cook something for breakfast. Right? Those kind of feelings always happen. So your mind keeps jumping from one point to another point like a monkey. Right? So the effectiveness in your work is not there. So with meditation, this monkey brain stops. You are able to focus much better. So when you are able to focus much better, what happens is that your productivity increases big time. Right? So earlier when you used to think that, okay, to complete this work I need 3 hours. With meditation, what happens is the same work, when you're more focused, you can probably do it in 1 hour. Right? So this is why I feel so sorry for people who say that they don't have time for meditation. And people always say they don't have time for meditation. Right? I was like that. 10 years back, if someone asked me to meditate, I would think that, okay, probably this guy is smoking pot. Right? Why would I waste my time sitting idle? Right? I would have thought like that. Anything physical yoga, I will do, no problem. But sit down for meditation, no way. Right? So it is all about sharpening the saw. I told you the woodcutter story. Right? So woodcutter, he keeps on cutting wood with his axe. And the amount of wood he is cutting started reducing. So earlier he used to cut 10 trees. After 1 month he is only cutting maybe 5 trees. Then it reduced to 3, and then it reduced to less than 1. And he has no idea why his productivity is dropping. And someone, probably a yogi who was walking past, looked at what he was doing and said that, see, why don't you sharpen that axe of yours? Then suddenly he remembers, okay, let me go and sharpen the axe. So he goes and sharpens the axe. And then next day he's able to cut 12 trees, not 10. Right? He's more efficient. Right? So it took someone else to come and tell him this. The same thing happens with meditation. So everybody say that they don't have time for meditation. Right? But what they don't realize is that if they spend 20 minutes on meditation every day, their productivity is going to jump. Okay, double, triple productivity. Right? So this is what they don't realize. And it is our job to explain to them, right, how meditation can improve their productivity. And this is also something which we have to explain to our children, because children, first of all, has that monkey brain, right, jumping around. Children, can't focus, right? So it is very important at a young age to teach them how to meditate. Okay, there should be some nice, enjoyable way of teaching them how to meditate. Now, if the parents are meditating, it becomes easier, right? Parents, children normally look up to their parents. If they see the parents doing meditation, they probably will join. Okay, but it is very important at a young age to teach them that, instead of sitting and playing video games and wasting their time. Video games, movies, these days it's all video games, right? So instead of doing that, maybe spend maybe 10-15 minutes on meditation. Their entire academic, process will improve multifold. Right? They will score much higher grades in classes if they are meditating. Okay. Now let us look at the older generation. So if you have been meditating for 20 plus years, what happens is that age-related decline of your brain cells stops. Right? Because as we get older, the brain cells, you lose the gray matter. So age-related decline of your brain cells are stopped. So when you are 90 or 90 plus, your brain will be still behaving like a 50-year-old brain or a 40-year-old brain. Right? Your brain is still sharp. Right? And the other thing which is very important for all of us is also what happens is that your ego starts dropping off. You don't have that thing anymore, right? I am big, everybody is under me, I'm something great. That ego starts dropping off, right? You understand that you are part of a much higher consciousness, right? You understand your part in the whole universe, and you are humbled by that. So all of these benefits come with meditation. Now, this is something you have to emphasize to every one of your students. And they have to convey this message to as many people as possible. Right? So it is not about the physical practice of yoga, which of course keeps your body healthy. Right? There's no doubt in that. But meditation is the ultimate aim, right? And it does so many amazing things. And this is all proven by science today, right? You don't have to depend on Hindu scriptures, which was written thousands of years back. Right? It is all written in our Hindu scriptures, right? Which is done probably, 5,000, 6,000 years back, right? But now science is proving all of this. So you don't have to quote scriptures anymore. You can quote scientific journals these days, right? And that becomes more convincing for the younger generation, right? When we go and talk to younger generation, you can say that, okay, this is the research, okay, by this big university. Then they will listen, right? You just have to do a Google search these days. Right? Benefits of meditation. Just do a Google search. You will get the entire list. Whatever I have discussed today, you will get the list. Right? So this is something which we have to explain to our students. Okay. So I'll take your leave for today. I'll catch up with you. I'll catch up with you in the evening again. Okay. Okay. Thank you.